But people don't always play the same on the witness stand as they do in front of a camera.
What about the documentaries and stuff like that that have been put out about him and some of the allegations against him, and people essentially co-signing on what he's being accused of because they're highlighting his behavior or what it was throughout these years? How much of an impact, if any at all, do you expect that to have?
So prosecutors cannot obviously just play the documentaries or pieces of the documentaries
Of course.
for the jurors, right? That would be inadmissible. However, if there's a witness on the stand who has previously spoken in one of these documentaries, and there will be many of those, everything they've said previously can be used to cross-examine them, to impeach them, as we say. So if a witness gets on the stand and says something a little different than what he or she said in a documentary, or leaves out a detail or adds a detail that they didn't say in the documentary, then that's absolutely fair game for cross-examination. And I assume in this case, if the prosecutors are any good at their jobs, and I'm sure they are, it's my former office, they have not just whatever the documentaries are, but the raw footage that came before it. Because a lot of times, you'll do a 2-hour interview and it'll end up being 12 minutes on the documentary. So I assure you both sides have watched that footage very carefully, and it's all in play just the same if it was prior testimony, to a police officer in front of a grand jury. It can be used.
You've raved about your former place of occupation, Southern District of New York, and what it brings to the table in terms of its high conviction rate, et cetera, et cetera. You still feeling as confident in their case, considering their reputation and what they bring to the table? You still feeling as confident with this whole Diddy matter against them?
That's a great question. So I of course, look, I came up through this office. I have a reverence for it, but I certainly do not think the SDNY is infallible. They've made a lot of missteps,
Sure.
including most recently, I think, throwing out the Eric Adams case, which I know a lot of the people there pushed back and disagreed with, but that came from up above.